Voting ain't gonna help us, man. Marching ain't gonna help us, man. Protesting ain't gonna help us, man.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me. Gray skies overhead, just isn't looking likely. But I try to do the right thing like Spike Lee. And I talk to God, the one and almighty. Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. Yeah.
Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me.
Have mercy on
Man, this shit ain't no joke, man, this shit ain't no joke. Like the boy cried wolf, I ain't blowing no smoke. You don't gotta look far to see it ain't no hope in this fucked up world. I'm just trying to stay afloat. I grew up in the ghetto in the middle of the streets, Hell, the belly of the beast. Thanksgiving came around, I wasn't having no feast when the landlord talking about breaking out lease. Goddamn, what's next? My girl broke up with your boy and she did it in a text that if I couldn't have nothing that I could have love besides love for the money and selling these drugs. Sometimes it seems like it's the only way out, but every day I'm getting older and it's getting played out. Can't end up in a pen trying to find a way out. Lord, forgive me for my sins, for my heart gave out. My dad died, biggest loss I ever had to take. He a big part of the reason I'm the man I am today. And moving on was a move I wasn't trying to make, but I got sons now, so I gotta lead them not astray. And even though success is looking unlikely, I stay mighty and pray nightly and remain doing the right thing like Spike Lee, which is hard in this life for a nigga like me. All my life I had to fight like my name's Sophia. Always had heart and in my heart was no fear. Boy, I stayed in some trouble always stayed near. When you black in America, that's all you cold here, I can't lie. Some days I wanna break down and cry for me and my people that's fighting to stay alive. Cause living ain't living when you live it to survive. Yes, we living in hell till the heavens arrive. Nah, I mean,
what it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me.
Like me.
What it's like for a nigga like me. Gray skies overhead, just isn't looking likely. But I try to do the right thing like Spike Lee. And I talk to God, the one and almighty. Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. Yeah.
Lord, please have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me.
Have mercy on me. What it's like in this life for a nigga like me. Every day I gotta fight my demons. Wake up, thank God I'm breathing. Cause all nightmares, America's dreaming. Trying to find a way to make it while surrounded by heathens. No stress long as I got a coat and I'm eating. I'm blessed and I know the Most High's the reason. But my heart's bleeding, through my sleeve is seeping. For all the things that I've been peeping. Type of shit make you say fuck it and sleeping. Cause while you were sleeping during the evening, for brothers got gunned down over the weekend. Stretched out in the streets left leaking. Laid out white sheet, mom's grieving. All lives gotta have more meaning than another nigga dead in the paper I'm reading. Baby mama bitching every time that she's speaking. Talking like she gonna take the kids as she's leaving. How we go from kids to ending up in the deep end. Sink or swim, lose or win, saint or sin. Where does the change begin? And when does the bullshit end? Cause I wake up in the morning, gotta do it again. Go to sleep, go to work and just do it again. Damn. Can't pretend, cause when you stand out, it's hard to blend. And what I stand for, don't fold the bend. Cause I heard real folks still got too many friends. Cause when you speak the truth, then you tend to offend. So while I'm gripping this pen, Lord, please have mercy on me, amen.
It's time for my people to come together and rise up. The only way we gonna take our royalty back, man, is if we do just that, man. Take it back. Kwame Yashala, nigga. Time for us to rise out of our oppression. A wise man told me each one teach one. So I need you to reach out to your brothers and sisters and teach them, man. There's no reason we should still be getting hung from trees in this day and age, man. Lord, please have mercy on me.
I put on for my city, even more for my company. The war might get ugly, fight it until we comfortably sitting in position, our faces all on our currency. Fuck the opposition, we cooking them like an oven bee. Wanna be a soldier, I show you, just come and fuck with me. Put you on to that fly living with fly fringes, fly women and fly linen that vibe with us. Ride with us, cause if you down, you die with us. Guns supersized and served with fries, nigga. Got a spaz on them, the only way that I do it. I keep the flow fluid, pull up in the beige Buick, hop out with the same type mask that Bane uses. Me, I was born in the dark, we changed to it. Rappers went soft out here when he raised music. Stay true Vader. Shot, giving you double like bar waiters. Cutting off haters, traitors, no more favors. They wanna get with us, we making them sign waivers. I don't make trap rap, this is that play a cat rap. Do it for them niggas, Mossberg up in they backpack. They tired of the projects, feeling just like a lab rat. Second from the Pyrex, wondering where the cash at. But we passed that, I'm just telling you what I'm mad at. Remember, used to seal them things tight in the glad wrap. So my demographic is soldiers that had it tragic. Pistol in the package of dreams of living lavish. No family, no team, but had to manage. We get them off the streets and get them niggas established. Getting back to business and getting rid of you faggots. No homo, way I ride a Caposo Polo. Cause we out here battling dragons but not Komodo. The type that choke Eric Gardner while others snapping photos. The demons that portray Von Martin up in the coffin. Coming for my portion, so hand it over with caution.
Cut all your antics and semantics, now I'm going rampant. With verses written by the hand of God like 10 commandments. These booty bandits in a panic and they acting frantic. The world's tired of that GMO, they want organic. A biohazard to a bastard situation tragic. This an invasion like we landed from another planet. A boss volcanic, always classic, you don't want no static. With so much flow to flood your city like that bitch Atlantis. Psychosomatic, dynamic, cut from another fabric. The Lord's bringing justice, vengeance for like an Hispanics. White folks are manic, satanic in all their ways and tactics. 400 years of oppression is crossing the Atlantic. The systematic practice got us all ass backwards. He kills us all and acts like we're the real savage. Please excuse me, I'm about to make another status. Fuck America, hashtag no white life matters. They want our head like John the Baptist. White America, been afraid of the black fist. Our trackless, got us on the FBI blacklist. Christ is coming back to knock the world off its axis. Try to sleep on me and I'm flipping over your mattress. Iverson flow, just go, I skip practice. You fake with bitch tendencies, nigga, you an actress. Things just ain't the same for rappers. Ever since the game got taken over by these crackers. Culture thieves, blood-sucking demons, Count Dracula. It's time to flip it back like a spatula. Spectacular vernacular, rhymes that'll damage her. Sucker MCs can't contend, no got the stamina. They only in it for the cheese like a lab rat. These niggas been ducks. Aflac flow so sick, gotta approach me with a hazmat. We spit that raw hardcore, you scared of the backlash. Wanna clash, homie, we can crash like the NASDAQ. All people royalty and we about them like ASCAP. While you trash rap, matter of fact, you can ask that. Right? We're independent, taking over, we don't rock with you. So they want a nigga taken out like the Apocrypha. Don't think I won't hit you cause I'm popular. Ty War been ready for war and so is Cottzer.
Have you been told you can't get high-speed internet where you live? Well, you can with HughesNet Gen 5.
I feel empowered. I feel like the Dimitri Post diagnosis loves every inch.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look, I keep it on to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat, man. This shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Vigi. Leave them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. Mama grind, bitch, it working. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, cause they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'ma back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas, we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the sweet. They all do the street. The nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass obsolete. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach, nigga. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, bitch, I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we tanks. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it on to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach, nigga. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
Clap it up. Shalom Israel. This is Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, man. We've been teaching our people who they are according to the Bible since 1969. In the room right now, we got Officer 500, Tapazar. We got Officer 50, Bon Zayan. Then myself, Officer 50, Kazad. Tonight, you know, as we know, tomorrow is a hellish holiday that's going to be going on tomorrow that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans tend to favor, you know what I'm saying? But what we have to understand is, you know, during this Wednesday night law class is that the Most High hates our feast days. Anything that we celebrate, anything that we indulge in that doesn't come out of the scriptures, that the Most High didn't tell us to celebrate, he hates those things, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if we're eating lawful things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, you know what I'm saying, we gonna, like a lot of our brothers and sisters is gonna carve up some you know what I'm saying, some ham, some turkey, you know what I'm saying, the cranberry sauce, all of that, you know what I'm saying, get into them abomination. But even if you aren't eating abominable foods, you know what I'm saying, even if you aren't, you know what I'm saying, even if you don't celebrate in the name of, you know what I'm saying, what our oppressor celebrates Thanksgiving as, it's still an abomination to the Most High, man. He hates it, man.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, the origin of Thanksgiving is on the blood and on the captivity of our Native American brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
And for us to even, you know what I'm saying, black people like to always try to turn something into something black, like something that's, you know, so like we like to, especially with these holidays, man, we like to turn it from, like I know, we like to say, you know, I know that, you know, Native Americans died on this day, you know what I'm saying, were slaughtered, they were taken from their land, they were raped, robbed, and murdered. But, you know, that's not why we gather, man. It's just a day off to me. It's just, you know what I'm saying, a time for me to gather with my family. But even with that mind state, it's wicked, man. It's wicked for us to still acknowledge this day, you know what I'm saying, and still celebrate with our oppressor. Because whether we are doing this thing in the same spirit as the oppressor or not, they still right next door, you know what I'm saying, celebrating in the name of your slaughter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You right there, right next to them, you know what I'm saying, doing the exact same thing, performing the exact same rituals as they are. So, I mean, You may call it something different, but it's all the same spiritually to the Most High, man.
That's
and
right.
The same spirit is your oppressor. Baba Kashai, can I get Hosea chapter 4, verse 6? We are in the exact same spirit as our oppressor, man. And the Most High hates that, man. He never intended for us to celebrate the death of our people, man. He never intended for us to partake in the things that our oppressor has taught us, man. We have to forget those ways, man. We have to learn to, be able to come together without, our oppressor's permission, man. 'Cause that's what it boils down to. We have permission to get off work. We have permission to gather together and eat this turkey, eat these, celebrate this holiday from our oppressor, man.
Right.
And we are never going to break away from the chains of our mind if we are still doing the exact same things as our oppressor. Bible Strata, if you could bring it up.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So the Most High's people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. We are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because we are not teaching one another, and we are forgetting our history. Like a lot of us, the most wicked thing about this holiday is that most of us, a lot of us understand what this holiday is truly about for our oppressor and how it, the origin of this holiday, right. The rape, robbing, murder, and the bloodshed that this holiday stems from, right? A lot of us are familiar with the Native American, history, and a lot of us like to claim that we are Native American and we got, part, Native American in our blood,
right?
But because on this one day, Big Mama get up in that kitchen, get the hooking that turkey up. She get to putting the pineapples and the cherries on that honey ham, and putting the ham hock in the greens, and it's starting to smell all good to you. The water. We start to fall weak. We fall weak to our flesh, man, and at the least, man, we're like it's just food at the end of the day. Like we're so oppressed in this nation, man, that we're forgetting our history and throwing away our history for a plate of food, man.
Right.
Like just think about that. We are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. Not because we don't have knowledge. We destroyed for a lack of knowledge because of Baba Kashai, can you read on? I want to get ahead of myself.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So it's not because we don't have knowledge, but because of what?
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Real.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
So we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because we have rejected knowledge, man. We know that our Hispanic, or we know that our Native American brothers and sisters are slaughtered on, by our oppressor, by what are they called? By our oppressor, by Europeans that came over to this country and stole this land. We know that this is stolen land. Right. We know, that our Native American brothers and sisters are still to this day, on reservations suffering, because of the things that our oppressors put them through.
Right.
Yet we still fall weak to a little bit of, cooked food. We have to celebrate this holiday because we get permission from our oppressor, man. Because we have rejected knowledge, man. We have rejected it, man. To be able to survive and to be able to blend in with this society. Everybody else is celebrating Thanksgiving. Everybody else is mingling, with their family and, cooking these abominable foods, man. And we have rejected the knowledge and the knowledge of our history and our forefathers and what they went through. So the Most High is rejecting us, man, because we want to celebrate the death of our people by the hands of our oppressor, man. Right. That we are continuing to suffer under our oppressor, man.
Right.
Because we obviously love it, man. We celebrate it every year. Keep going, Baba Kashai.
Come. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
We have we have forgotten the law of the Most High God, man. So the Most High is forgetting us, man. The Most High said to envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways, man. But because your oppressor gives you permission on this hellish day to you know what I'm saying, where he's memorizing and memorializing you know what I'm saying, the rape, rob, and murder of your people, then you are, you know what I'm saying, you are envious of our oppressor and choosing his ways. You are following after your oppressor, man.
Right.
And doing the exact same things that he's doing, man.
Right.
And no matter how we like to frame it, no matter how we like to frame it and how we like to disguise it, switch it up, and remix it like we do, we are still in the same spirit as our oppressor, man.
Right.
And we destroyed. A partial reason why we are destroyed for lack of knowledge is that these things aren't being taught in schools. It's not being taught in the black household for sure, but it's now because we are not teaching our own history and passing it down. Our history is being forgotten because now we have to rely on our oppressor's school system to try to teach Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans their history, man.
Right.
And they're not going to teach history how it happened because they had a lot of for them to teach us our history, the right way, they would have to teach us how wicked and abominable they are as a people, man. But they don't want to do that, man. They don't want to do that, so they are not going to teach us, you know, that blacks, like they removed it. Like I know when I was younger, you know what I'm saying, they was at least teaching, you know what I'm saying, that the Pilgrims came over and, you know what I'm saying, they were at least teaching a little bit about the slaughter of Native Americans by the Pilgrims and the travelers that came over from Europe. But like now they calling it, you know what I'm saying, they calling the Trail of Tears the Great Migration. Like we like, because your oppressor came over and wanted to, you know what I'm saying, settle in this country, then they're teaching our children that the Native Americans just scooched over to the west or toward the west and made room for these wicked people, man. Out of kindness. And we were a kind people, man. We did show them a lot of the ways of our people. But that's not how it happened, man. We're going to get into that in just a second. You got something you want to say?
If I could, yeah, they focused toward the west. And guess what the oppressor did? He went to the west.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's sloppy.
Right. That's so heavy that you brought that out, man, because that just shows you that, man, no matter how you try to remix it or try to, you know what I'm saying, disguise it, your oppressor is always going to be an oppressor, man.
Right.
And placating to, you know what I'm saying, his wickedness and, you know what I'm saying, trying to appease him through feast and trying to continue to deal with these people instead of separating from them. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna keep us messed up in this country, in this world, man.
Right.
Because like the preacher just brought out, you know what I'm saying? Like they forced us westward. You know what I'm saying? They came over and after we showed them how to stay warm during the winter in Massachusetts and in the east where it was really cold. You know what I'm saying? After we taught them how to harvest vegetables in the dead of winter. You know what I'm saying? How to skin the buffalo and the beaver to make fur coats and clothes and things and huts and all like their shelter. After we taught them our ways, man, what did they do? They brought you know what I'm saying? They brought their military to our territories and then started killing us. They started robbing us. They started capturing and enslaving us and, you know what I'm saying, doing all sorts of manner of wickedness and diabolical things to us, man. That's what we get for our kindness. And then we got pushed westward through the Trail of Tears. And then what did they do? They followed, you know what I'm saying, they pushed us further and further west to continue to take advantage of the land that we were able to cultivate and make, you know what I'm saying, make work for us, man. Let me get Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. I'm gonna send you this article real quick.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Right. See, that's where we fall. That's where we fall short, man. We are envying our oppressor by following after him and doing the things that he has taught us to do throughout the years, man. And because we are envying our oppressor, we are envying, you know what I'm saying? We see on these movies, you know what I'm saying, they having these little get-togethers, these little sweaters, and you know what I'm saying, like they celebrating the holidays to full effect, man. You know what I'm saying? They look all fun and everything. They got all their family and friends coming from out of town, and they look all glorious. We envy that, man. So we want to replicate those things, man. So that leads us to choose their ways, man. And that is where we end up destroying, man. By choosing their ways and envying them, we forget about ourselves and our culture, man.
Right.
And that's gonna get us tripped up every single time, man. Is there any more on that?
Lie.
Okay, no sweat. I'm gonna send you this article real quick, man. See, since we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. So, right now in this Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are going to teach, you know what I'm saying? We're going to teach our people, you know what I'm saying, the true identity of our people and the true origin of Thanksgiving, man. Because we don't understand, man, because it's not being taught to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, the Most High God gave us, you know what I'm saying, the Passover. You know what I'm saying? That's the celebration of the victory that we had over our oppressor, man, while we were in captivity in Egypt, man. The Most High gave us a feast day that we can gather together and enjoy good food and strong drink. You know what I'm saying? In honor of our people, man. In honor of the, you know what I'm saying? But like instead of we don't celebrate the Passover. Instead, we are celebrating our oppressors' holidays where they had victory over us. Because we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. And we are envying our oppressor, man, which is aiding our destruction. You get that article? You go ahead and bring that out whenever you
Where you want to start it?
Let's see. You can start from the top.
We all know that Thanksgiving is an American holiday meant to celebrate and be grateful for our blessings and the friendship of others. What many ignore, however, is that behind this seemingly joyous occasion lies a dark story full of conflict and blood.
So that's what we don't realize about Thanksgiving, man. Like we get together and it seems like it's all love, you know what I'm saying? It's all love and we get together with our family and it's all happiness and you all carefree, you getting all fat full and everything is good, right? But what are we like? We never stop to ask why are we doing this? Like, where did this come from? Like, you know what I'm saying? What is the history behind this, man? But we not only do we celebrate these things ourselves, man, but then we teach our children to do it, man. It's because we have spent so much time in this hell that we just looking for, you know what I'm saying? We just looking for a break, you know what I'm saying, an oasis where we can just chill, kick our feet up, and enjoy family, man. Enjoy a little time off of work and school or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and try to enjoy ourselves, man. But we never make the connection that we're in hell because of our oppressor, man.
Right.
And then the only time that we have to get together and enjoy each other's company seems to be just this wicked holiday Thanksgiving, man.
Right.
But we never make the connection that we are in hell and we are celebrating the death of our ancestors because our oppressor is the devil, man.
Right.
But we here to take the wool off of our brothers and sisters' eyes, man, so that we can understand the true bloody history of this hellish holiday, man. Go ahead, read on. I'm gonna get there with you real quick.
The origin origins of Thanksgiving, like with most other traditional festivities, are rooted in old pagan rites. The holiday has its earliest source in ancient customs, found throughout the globe, that allocated a day of giving thanks for a successful harvest and the fortunes or blessings of the previous year. More specifically, however, it is often said that the current American tradition of Thanksgiving dates back to the establishment of the Plymouth colony in what today is Massachusetts in 1620.
So right now we're about to get into the history of what this holiday is really about, man, so that we can understand exactly what we are celebrating, what we are honoring by sitting at that table at Thanksgiving, man. Like, what we don't realize is that was, I mean, it started off kind, and you know what I'm saying, there are some things that they did teach us that are true. There was a feast, you know what I'm saying. We did try to, you know what I'm saying, we tried to be peaceable to this wicked people. We did teach them everything that they know about, you know what I'm saying, how they were able to survive through the winters and through the cold and through the conditions that they were met with when they came over here. We taught them how to, you know, harvest and use animals for clothing and food and shelter, you know what I'm saying. But we're gonna get into the things that they aren't teaching you. Let me so like here. You go ahead, read on.
Most schools teach that Thanksgiving was born when some English religious dissenters, the Pilgrims, were struggling to settle in Plymouth.
Right.
They were warmly received by friendly local Native Americans from the Wampanoag tribe, who taught them how to survive in the New World. To celebrate their success and to honor each other, everyone got together and threw an affectionate feast in which the Pilgrims showed their gratitude. That sounds like a lovely story. That sounds like a lovely story. Salakia. That sounds like a lovely story, but it falls way short of showing the whole picture.
Right, so like we said before, like we did meet them at the borders and everything and tried to make peace with them. You know what I'm saying? But what they teach in these schools, man, is the surface, the surface of the depth of the wickedness of this holiday, man. What they did, after we did teach them the ways of our people and how to survive, man, then they started to take advantage of our people, man. And we're gonna get into that in just a second, man. They started to take advantage of our land and take advantage of our culture. They started to become intolerant of our culture, man. And as we, you know what I'm saying, as we know that, you know what I'm saying, with the Native Americans being the Lord's chosen people, in that indigenous, in that land, they were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? They were observing the Passover. They were, you know what I'm saying, wearing their, you know what I'm saying, they were wearing their native apparel, man. They, you know what I'm saying, they were teaching their culture to their children, man. Which is why they were able to have such a rich culture. You know what I'm saying, in that land, man. But with them, you know what I'm saying, with our oppressor knowing that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people, you know what I'm saying, they can't help but take advantage of, you know what I'm saying, our people, no matter how kind we are to them. Let me get, I'm gonna send you this other article also. Let me see. Go ahead, skip down to where it says this is not a history of friendship.
It is fairly well documented that the English and later Americans didn't get along with their native neighbors. Actually, that's an understatement. Native Americans were driven out of their land.
They were what?
Native Americans were driven out of their land,
Right.
hunted, and virtually exterminated by the settlers during the centuries following the latter's arrival. So it's hardly surprising that the story surrounding Thanksgiving involves a bloody conflict.
Right, so after we had taught them everything, you know what I'm saying, after we didn't let them, freeze to death in the winter, after we didn't let them starve to death, after we didn't, you know what I'm saying, kill them on sight, they took advantage of blacks, the Native Americans that were in the land at that time, man. After, even after, you know what I'm saying, showing them kindness, man. And that is the nature of this people, man, that we want to envy, that we want to, you know what I'm saying, celebrate this wicked holiday with, man. They take advantage of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and the love and natural affection that we have for, you know what I'm saying, for people. Like, we are naturally affectionate people, man. But we need to understand that we have an enemy, and he knows that he's our enemy. Your oppressor knows that he's our enemy, man. But we don't understand that, man. So not only do we cleave to our oppressor and love our oppressor and envy our oppressor, but we fall prey to their snares that they set for us, and one of those snares is having us celebrate the death of our ancestors, man. Let me send you this next joint real quick. Now we're gonna get into this is what your oppressor has thought about. This is what your oppressor thinks about you, man. When your oppressor comes over into your country, into your land, and tries to pretend that they, you know what I'm saying, everything is cool, and they trying to, you know what I'm saying, make peace with you and try to get involved with your culture. They are really plotting on you, man. And it's prophesied in the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying, like it's like it. What is that precept? What is it? But they, you know what I'm saying, that they're envy, you know what I'm saying, never trust your enemy, man. They, you know what I'm saying, even though what they say sounds slick, man, the words of their mouth is smooth as butter, but war is in their heart, man. They plotting on you the entire time, man.
Right.
And in that time, you know what I'm saying, like, those people, you know what I'm saying, our person had to put on a show for quite some time because, you know what I'm saying, there wasn't planes and, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, the modes of transportation would take months and sometimes years. So, like, what they did was they sent a small portion of, you know what I'm saying, a small portion of people over to this land that wouldn't be alarming. And then, you know what I'm saying, won over our people, man. You know what I'm saying, they did some recon and, you know what I'm saying, saw out the land and, saying, to see what type of people we were, to see what type of, you know what I'm saying, to see what type of defenses we had, how we was living, you know what I'm saying, how we would treat them, man, so that they can infiltrate our culture, man, and then keep in contact with, you know what I'm saying, their brothers and sisters, their brothers and sisters back home, you know what I'm saying, then they were able to find out when would be the best time for them to move on us, man. So from the beginning, we are being a peaceable people. We are being a kind people, you know what I'm saying, a hospitable people to this nation of wicked, you know what I'm saying, murderers. And the whole time, you know what I'm saying, they taking advantage. And the whole time, they plotting on their next move. They plotting on when they can move in on this, man. So, let me get the second quote where it says,
got it.
Most on the first.
This excerpt from Columbus' diary describes the Arawak people who greeted him and his men. They brought us parrots and balls of cotton and spears and many other things. which they exchanged for the glass beads and hawk bells. They willingly traded everything they owned. They were well built with good bodies and handsome features. They do not bear arms and do not know them. For I showed them a sword, and they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants.
They would do what?
They would make fine servants.
So this entire time, while they're dealing with us, this is Christopher Columbus after encountering the Arawak Indians in America, man. When he came over in 1492, man, he came over. He was observing us for quite some time, observing Native American people to see, you know what I'm saying, what they, you know what I'm saying, how they carried their culture, what they did as a people, what their military was like. You know what I'm saying? What they're, you know what I'm saying? Like how you know what I'm saying? Where they get their food sources, where they get their shelter, and how they survive. They observed our people for quite some time with ill intent. Like they didn't look at us and be like, oh, they're a peaceable people, they're a kind people. They are, you know what I'm saying, wise and resourceful. They looked at us, they looked at all those things about us, and they didn't say, you know what I'm saying, let's become these people, let's learn from these people, let's become as these people, let's live amongst these people in peace. They looked at us and saw we had these traits and was like, they make fine servants. They would be perfect slaves, man, because, you know what I'm saying, they are kind to us, you know what I'm saying, they are compassionate like we are today. They are kind like we are today. They are resourceful. You know what I'm saying? Then you know what I'm saying, the Native Americans didn't know nothing about steel and iron and, you know what I'm saying, warfare, man. 'Cause we, like the scriptures say, you know what I'm saying, Black Hispanics and Native Americans, we dwell in tents, man. We like to chill. But, you know what I'm saying, our oppressor, Esau, who is the, you know what I'm saying, who is the so-called white man today, you know what I'm saying, he was blessed with the sword, man. He was a cunning hunter from the beginning, man. And he used his cunning to take advantage of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Like he still does today, man. There's nothing new under the sun, man. We shouldn't be surprised, man. We shouldn't be surprised when our oppressor takes advantage of us. We shouldn't be surprised when we marching in the streets talking about hands up, don't shoot, and your oppressor shoots you down anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be surprised, man, because this is how it's always been, man. This is how it's always been, man. Oh, for sure, let me get Psalms. Let me get Lamentations 4:17. This is how it's always been, man. And the Most High has always intended for us to never, you know what I'm saying, trust these people and to never, you know what I'm saying, dwell with these people, never intermingle and intermarry, you know what I'm saying, with these people. The Most High intended for us to separate from these people from the beginning, because these people, you know what I'm saying, these people are crooked. They are crooked people, man. They are so crooked that they will come to your land and come to your country, steal your land, rape your people, rob your people, and murder your people, take all your resources, take advantage of your resources, and then make you celebrate or convince you to celebrate the death and the victory over your people that they have. They are crooked and wicked people, man. We should never seek to get their gratification or their you know what I'm saying, their friendship. We should never seek to, you know what I'm saying, be a part of their culture, man. Right. And that's what trips us up every time, man, because we are peaceable people, man. So we think that we're gonna change the hearts and the minds of this crooked bastard who is always gonna be just that, man. You know what I'm saying? They always gonna be crooked, man. There's nothing we can do about that except for separate, man, like the Most High intended. About the shot, if you could.
What verse?
4:17. Verse 17.
Gone. As for us, Salakia, the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Right, so our oppressor has shown us his cards, man. And he always does, man. He shows us that he's a wicked bastard, and he don't care about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. No matter how much we march and sing and dance and hum and skip, no matter how much we try to integrate with them and show them that, you know what I'm saying, like that we have no beef with them, they gonna take advantage of us, man. They have they always have, man. They're going to continue to take advantage of us, man. There's no song that we can sing, there's no marching that we can do that's gonna let our oppressor know that he needs to get the knee off our neck.
Right.
That he needs to get his foot off our neck, man.
That's right.
He's gonna continue to squeeze us and squeeze all the resources and all the labor out of us until we are no more, man. Until we are destroyed, man. So we need, like the scriptures say, man, we are watching for a nation that cannot save us, man. We need to stop looking toward our oppressor to save us, man. And we definitely need to stop partaking in their hellish practices, man.
That's right.
Especially, you know what I'm saying, we definitely need to put down that turkey, that ham, you know what I'm saying, that ham hock and them collard greens in honor of the death of the murder of our Native American people, man.
Right.
We need to go ahead and separate from all that, man. We need to be strong. We need to have a backbone and have the courage to separate from our oppressor, man, and hold him accountable, man. We can't hold him accountable for murdering blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans if we are celebrating their murder of our people, man.
Right.
It just don't go hand in hand, man. Those are two opposite things, man. We cannot continue to be this docile, man. It's like Bible Shop, if you could continue.
Verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go out in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
They hunting our steps, man, like they always have, man. They are hunting us, man, so that we can't go in the streets, man, so that we get in our car, man. We're terrified of our oppressor, man. We're terrified of the police, man, and what could possibly happen to us, man. We're terrified, you know what I'm saying, to go to our church, you know what I'm saying, to church, you know what I'm saying. We're terrified to go into public in fear of, you know what I'm saying, possibly getting shot down by some wicked oppressor with an AR-15 who's gonna get off for taking your life, man.
Right.
Like we're terrified to go in our streets, man. Because of who, man? Because of who? Because of our oppressor, man. We need to stop, you know what I'm saying? We need to stop trying to, you know what I'm saying, look past the crimes of our oppressor, man, for a little bit of turkey, man. For a little plate of, you know what I'm saying? A big mama whipping up in the kitchen. Go ahead.
Salakia, you know, what you're bringing out is heavy, man. You know, it's heavy what you said earlier, though, when you said a day off by permission. You know, it's funny, man. The Lord issued out his work week and his labor policies, you know what I'm saying, in our commandments, saying you have 6 days to labor and on the 7th day you're to rest. And he issued out for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians our days off, man. You understand the days that we're supposed to be monitoring and have off. He's given us our holy days. And that's all holiday means. You understand that word hollow is an old English Quaker word for holy. Right. So when we participate in these different holidays, man, we're literally choosing. We're literally calling the white man God, man.
Right.
You understand? You ain't even gotta believe that Jesus is black to know that you worship a white God, because they give you permission to rest from your labors and participate in their feast days, which, like you said earlier, is the celebration of us being a conquered people, man. You understand? It's the celebration of us being a conquered people, a massacred people, a people who have received no justice, man. And you sitting down eating that turkey and that stuff and that cranberry sauce, what you're really doing is you're saying that I'm okay with my child molester, man. I'm okay with what was done to me and to my people. I can live with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to let bygones be bygones, man. Because let me tell you something, man. When you sit down and eat with somebody, it gotta be. You can't eat with somebody that disgusts you.
Yeah. Right.
You understand? You can't eat with an enemy. My aunties and my mom used to say that, be careful who cooks your food, man, and what kind of attitude they have when they cook your food, man. Because that energy will go into the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to, people say all the time, you know what I'm saying, when they're stressed out, they're bothered by somebody, I've lost my appetite. We Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should have lost their appetite for this a long ass time ago. Right. You understand? They should have lost their appetite for their oppressors, day off for us. You know what I'm saying? When it's like imagine the Jewish man, the fake Jew. Imagine him having a holiday every year, celebrating the Germans throwing them into ovens.
Good night.
That's the equivalent of us sitting down and having a fried turkey and mac and cheese and greens and yams. You know what I'm saying? And who's singing the song, man? Greens, collards, yams. Who's singing that, man?
She a choir director or is she?
Oh, I'm talking about that. Oh,
yeah.
I call her sister,
She
bro.
like a
What's her name?
or something like that.
I believe it was like Agatha Bell or Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin, or one of them, man. One of them sisters, man. And it's not to slight her or whoever that singer is. I know she's a famous singer, but I think she's a gospel singer. Yeah. But the way that singing being sung, man, it feel like The Color Purple. You know what I'm saying? It feel like listen, man. In slavery, we took whatever we could to have a bit of happiness, man. They didn't let us have marriages. We had to hop over a broom to say that we was with somebody. Right. And even then we knew that the master could take the woman that we loved and lay down with and take her into his house or into the barn and go into her, man. So when we could have some watermelon, when we could have some fried chicken, when we could have a piece of cake, when we could have a biscuit, when we could have some chitlins, we relished it because it was some type of escape from the hell and the slavery that we were experiencing, man. But now we have a choice, man. We don't have to be slaves. The slaves that we have today are slaves that are slaves by choice, man. Right. You choose. Listen, nobody is making you sleep in a goddamn wood shack and taking your wife out your house and raping her, man. You understand? Nobody's making you put the Christmas tree in your house. Nobody's making you buy the turkey, or as you said, the honey glazed ham with the pineapples and the cherries. Nobody's making you spend that money on that, man. You're choosing to do that, man. So now our slavery and our oppression, man, to a degree is a choice. We can't choose to not get shut down in the streets. We can't choose to have the judges set the people who murder us free, right? Or put our innocent brothers and sisters in jail for with football numbers. We don't have no choice over that. But we do have a choice on whether or not we celebrate and participate in these wicked ass holidays, man. Right. It's a lot. Right. It's a lot.
Get Psalms chapter 137, verse 3, man. Because what the preachers brought out was super heavy. Like, we are now choosing to be slaves, man. Like, nobody's, nobody's holding us down and forcing us to eat, abominable food. Right. Nobody's making us, get up in that Christian church and sing these abominable songs and, get up in that Christian church and start twerking in front of the whole deacon board. Good night. Ain't nobody making, ain't nobody making our sisters walk out and, shamelessly, half dressed. Ain't nobody making us be homosexuals. Right. We are choosing to do these things now, man. And nobody's making you pick up that ham hock and that turkey leg and bite into it in honor of your oppressor killing your people. So like you have some
and you know what, this whole holiday season really illuminates and highlights the fact that all Christians are hypocrites, man. Right. I was on Snapchat and I seen a fake Israelite deep frying a turkey. Good night. What? Like, you're Christian. You're Christian, man. And all you Christians out there, I know y'all say y'all trust in a God of love, y'all believe in a God of love and all that, hallelujah, and Jesus loves everybody, and he came to die for everybody. But why is it that you're celebrating a holiday of hate?
Right.
This whole holiday season is built on Halloween, a sinful pagan holiday made about hate. It was literally a holiday about rioting, stealing, and burning down the town.
Right.
Hatred. And you encourage that in your church. This holiday tomorrow, Thanksgiving.
Right.
A holiday to commemorate and remember the slaughter and massacre of Native American Indian tribes across this damn continent, man.
Right.
North, south, east, and west.
Right.
That's a hateful day that you're celebrating. Wouldn't your loving God be against that? It just goes to show that you Christians are hypocrites.
Right.
You Christians don't believe a word you say. You just say it because it makes you feel good.
Right.
You eat that pork because it makes you feel good. And your God is really yourself. Your God is really your stomach. Whatever your stomach tells you to do, that's what you're going to do.
Right.
You're going to deep fry turkey today. That's who you're serving. You're serving a turkey to your God, yourself, your stomach.
Right.
Because you don't have any morals. You don't have anything that you actually stand on or stand for. You know, and these Christian preachers are not ignorant, man. They're not ignorant at all. They know that in the law it says not to eat pork, not to be a homosexual, not to celebrate pagan holidays. But because they don't believe in the God written in the words of the Bible, because they don't actually serve that power, they'll give that up.
Right.
They'll give that up for what? Thanksgiving?
Right.
For a Christmas tree? And that goes to show, man, if that's how you want to live your life, you say you love God, well, how about you actually serve him?
Right.
How about you actually do what he tells you to do, man?
That's
And
right.
stop saying one thing and doing another. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole, you're out here looking silly, man.
That's right.
Out here trying to vote and march and say we need some civil rights and social justice. Justice for George Floyd, justice for Ahmaud Arbery, justice for, what's that sister? Breonna Taylor, man. But you out here celebrating the murder and slaughter of Native American Indians who are still being oppressed and slaughtered and abducted today.
Right.
You look like a fool and a hypocrite, man. And I'm just here to, as we always are, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We're here to show you that. We're here to show that to you, man, so that you have a choice to change from being that hypocrite that you are.
That's
a
right.
lot.
That's right. And it's so funny, man, because like right now, like tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, despite the, you know what I'm saying, brothers is teaching all over the world right now to beware of celebrating Thanksgiving right now, tonight. They're, you know what I'm saying, brothers all over the world telling you and warning you not to partake in this wicked holiday, man.
That's right.
But tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure a lot of brothers and sisters are going to be celebrating anyway, man.
Right.
Celebrating the death of our Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know what I'm saying, we do end up down the road 20, 30 years from now if Christ don't come back and destroy this place. I wouldn't be surprised if 20, 30 years from now, you know what I'm saying, we are celebrating the death of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and, you know what I'm saying, all these, you know what I'm saying, Trayvon Martin.
Right.
All these brothers and sisters. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen, man. Because we are now choosing our slavery, man.
Right.
Like nobody's making us eat that turkey.
Right.
Nobody's, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's keeping us from acknowledging our culture except for ourselves at this point, man.
Right.
Baba Kashaf, you got that precept? That Psalm 137?
You want me to start at the top?
Verse 3.
Come. The book of Psalm 137, verse 3. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song.
Required of us what?
A song.
So, old Christmas tree.
A song.
So when they got us, you know what I'm saying, singing these wicked Christian hymns, trying to make love to the Most High.
They required of us a song.
You know what I'm saying? They required of us a song, man. They required of us to, you know what I'm saying, sing and dance, you know what I'm saying, when they carried us away captive in the scriptures, man. Go ahead, read on. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
So this is not new, man. This is not new for our oppressor to take us into captivity and require us to sing and dance and entertain them as they raped our women, as they took advantage, you know what I'm saying, as they murdered our people, our men, women, and children, man, as they stole our land, as they, you know what I'm saying, as they took us captive. It's not an unfamiliar thing for our oppressors to require us to, you know what I'm saying, entertain them, man. And that's what we do to, you know what I'm saying, that's what we do to this day, man. For the next, you know what I'm saying, for the next couple months, we're going to be singing and dancing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be eating and, you know what I'm saying, trying to be merry, not even realizing we are celebrating these pagan holidays, and this nation is bathed in blood, man. And we're celebrating when our oppressor came over and overtook our people, man. But we don't realize it, because now they aren't, you know what I'm saying? Like they not taking advantage of, or they not requiring of us to sing, man. They not making us sing and dance and, you know what I'm saying, celebrate the murder of our people, man. But we're doing it, man. We're choosing to celebrate the death of our people, man. We're doing it all on our own, all on our own now. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it all by ourselves now. Despite, you know what I'm saying, these brothers and sisters who love you, trying to teach you to separate from this wicked people and to acknowledge your culture, man. We have become afraid, man. Afraid to the point where they don't have to make us sing and dance. We're doing it ourselves. Go ahead.
Man, this precept that you brought out, man, is the beginning of the Christian church, man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? This precept right here is the beginning of the Christian church. In the midst of slavery, you understand, while our oppressor, the white man, built his heaven here on earth, right? In our land, stole our land and built his heaven there, he pointed up and told us to look for our heaven in the sky. And then gave us church. He required of us a song, man.
Right.
Because we know that when he would choose to select a man to teach the Bible, he could only teach and preach certain things out the Bible. So because we weren't getting any true knowledge of who we were and our identity out of the scriptures, you know, and the tradition passed on through the years, because when we go to church, we hear the pastor give us maybe 1 or 2 or 3 scriptures, if that.
Right.
Right? The rest of it is all the hoopla and the and then the organ gets to playing. Right. Because they required of us a song, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's an old song called "Whistle While You Work," man. Because you know, a lot of times, you know, people will play music while they do labor, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you have a rib, she's gonna play whatever music she likes, R&B, while she's cleaning the house up. When you're working out, you put music on your ears to get your mind off of what you're doing physically. And the white man knew that.
Right.
Because the scripture says here, they that wasted us required of us mirth. Mirth means happiness and being joyful. Because why? You want the people that you've hurt and destroyed to forget their condition, to forget the hell that they're in, man. So we chose a false heaven. You dig? We chose a false heaven because we were living in hell, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what all these holidays are, man. It's the Christian church magnified, man. You understand? Even if you don't go to church and you're a Commission and you believe in Osiris and Heru, you still go to Big Mama house to go eat that turkey, though, man.
Right.
You understand? You still celebrate. You still buy your kids Christmas gifts, even though you know that you have the knowledge that it's a pagan holiday. Why?
Right.
Why? Because you're still under the canopy of the white man's oppression, man, and you have to follow suit, man. The only freedom, the only true free man, you know what I'm saying? The only true field niggas is in the Isupk, man.
That's right.
You understand? Right. Because not only are we not celebrating it, but we know why we're not celebrating it, and we know what we should be celebrating, man.
Right.
Salaki.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Did you want to bring anything out right there? I don't know if I saw you.
Nah.
Okay, no sweat. But what the priest brought out was just heavy, man. Like they require us to be happy about the condition that we are in, man. They required of us mirth, man. When they slaughtered us, man. And what do we give them today, man? What are we about to give them tomorrow? Mirth. We are about to go over Big Mama house and act like everything, like you're gonna act like you didn't just get laid off of your job. You're gonna go and sit next to your uncle and pretend that man ain't touched you when you was younger, man. You're gonna sit there and act like you can't pay your bills, man. Or you're gonna act like everything is okay at home, man. Like your refrigerator ain't empty, or like your lights ain't about to get shut off, like you ain't about to get kicked out of your home. We're gonna gather together and forget that your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
And you're gonna forget all about your oppressor, man, and sing and dance and be happy and feel your face, man, because your captors who slaved you and slaughtered you required of you happiness. They required you to be happy about your hell, man. So now today we've been conditioned to be happy about our hell.
Right.
And Thanksgiving is a part of our hell, man. And we don't even realize it. You have something to bring up?
If I could, you know what I'm saying? You bring out so heavy. You know what I'm saying? During these happy holidays, you gonna see a total coronavirus gonna spike through the roof. Because Black Hispanic Americans, you know what I'm saying? Because right now you look at it, it's flu season. It's cold. You know what I'm saying? And that's what coronavirus is. It's like a different type of flu, upgrade scale of flu. You know what I'm saying? We gonna celebrate these holidays that we're not even supposed to. That they be hearing that preaching prophets be telling them that you celebrate these holidays, that's wicked. It's not righteous, that's not of the Lord, that's not of the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna see these coronavirus spike up, it's gonna go down. So
Most High Christ.
That's right.
The Lord at hand, man. The Most High is gonna have, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna rain vengeance on any brother and sister who is out there celebrating Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? No matter what kind of twist you put on it, man. Because at this point we know, you know what I'm saying? We are fully aware, you know what I'm saying? We are fully aware that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are our brothers, man. We are fully aware that, we claim that we have Native American in our blood.
Right.
All throughout the year. 364 days out of the year. But as soon as it come around to Thanksgiving, man, that don't matter no more. That don't matter no more. For that turkey, that don't matter. It don't matter that your great-grandfather was a Cherokee Indian, man. It doesn't matter that your great-grandmother was an Arawak woman, man.
Right.
It don't matter, man. It don't matter the thing that you learned, the atrocity that you learned that happened to your people at the hands of your oppressor, man. That doesn't matter for a turkey leg. Once you could put some of that, you know what I'm saying, that moist turkey up on your plate, man, and that you know what I'm saying, that ham, man, you forget all about your culture for a plate of food, man.
Right.
And that should let you know the type of hell that we are living in, the condition that we live in this country, man, in this world, man. That a plate of good food can make you throw away your entire culture, man, and assimilate to your oppressor, man.
Right.
And sing and dance about your oppression and the murder of your people, man.
Right.
We gotta do better, man. We have to require better of ourselves, man, and of our people. It's just that simple, man. We have to require better, man, because we've been taught to do these things. We've been conditioned to do these things, man.
Right.
Baba Kushar, let me get that. Is the article I sent you with the sister laying in the cage? Man, we've been taught these things, man. Go ahead.
Yes, Lakia. You know, and you were bringing up the Lord and the COVID-19, man. You know what? The world doesn't even remember what this holiday season used to feel like. Right. They're chasing back after that high that they used to experience. That's why the world was so easily enslaved and so easily given to the lies of this beast called America, man.
Right.
Because they give you something at the end of the year for you to feel real nice and warm in your heart with an evil gift, man, called this holiday season. And now, in COVID-19 wrecked that whole system that this beast had set up, man. COVID-19, I was watching the news. A sister was like, yeah, COVID-19, I couldn't go do the Thanksgiving for like a year or two, but I'm doing it this year. I got my vaccine shot, and I'm finna go do it. You celebrating Thanksgiving is why the Lord sent COVID-19.
That's right.
That's why course. That's why COVID-19 is here and the world is so shook up, man. It is a plague of the Lord.
That's right.
And you fighting against the Lord's plan to separate you from this wicked system, man. It's just going to increase the plagues.
Right.
It's going to increase the Lord's hand on this nation, on this planet, to separate his people from everybody else, man.
That's right.
And until blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians understand that and realize that they have no business cooking a goddamn turkey on the third Thursday in November or fourth Thursday, whatever. They have no business keeping up with these pagan holidays that are literally celebrating their downfall. I know Native American, I know Hispanic people who celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't know how you, and like you said, Priest, how you gonna call yourself Indian, but the next day you say I'm just celebrating the death of the Native American Indian.
Right.
I'm finna cook this turkey up, have all my family over who also say they Native American, and we gonna cook and eat it up and celebrate like they do in Rome.
Right.
And that is a wicked thing, man. That's a wicked lie that you've been taught that you need to come up off of.
Right.
Salaki.
That's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is here, man. We are here to relieve our people of all the lies that we have been taught in this country, man, in this wicked country, man. And what the like we so good night. It amazes me, like how, you know what I'm saying, like how we can continue to go about, you know what I'm saying, our lives like this and continue to fall prey to the traps that your oppressor set for you with the knowledge that, you know what I'm saying, with the, like, this is the information age, you know what I'm saying. Nowadays, like, you know, information is so accessible to us. And you know what I'm saying, you got little 2-year-old, 2, 3, 4-year-olds that can operate electronics and, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, navigate, you know what I'm saying, the internet better than, you know, some grown people, man. This is like, you know what I'm saying, we have so much information accessible to us, so much of our history at the touch of a button, man. But, you know what I'm saying, even though we have this knowledge, we are still becoming subject to the snares that your oppressor has set for you, man.
Right.
Like we have to require better of us, man. We have to require better of ourselves, man. And we have to realize that we have to find the courage to be able to hold our oppressor accountable, man. That's what it all boils down to, man. We celebrate Thanksgiving because we don't want to hold our oppressor accountable. And then when we hold our people accountable for not holding our oppressor accountable, then it becomes a fight, you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes, you know what I'm saying, like, that was the past, and we need to, you know what I'm saying, you full of hate. Why are you full of hate? And all of that junk. Like, we hold our own people accountable for, you know what I'm saying, so-called being full of hate, but we don't hold our oppressor accountable for being the reason why we are so angry as a people. Right. And so, you know what I'm saying, like, so why we are rioting, we don't hold our oppressor accountable, man. We have become lost out here, man. It's like, you got that article? And it's like, I want to make a, no, I'm going to go ahead and let you go bring that out.
All right. This is the Harper's Bazaar. Americans can't admit concentration camps exist in the U.S. because they are shameless.
Because they are what?
Because they are shameless.
Because we serve under a wicked, shameless bastard, the so-called, your oppressor, the so-called white man, man.
Right.
They can't admit that concentration camps exist in the U.S. because they are shameless, man. They are shameless about the rape, robbery, murder of Native Americans hundreds of years ago that got you celebrating Thanksgiving. They are shameless about those things, man. They are shameless about, you know what I'm saying, holding our children and our Native, or our Hispanic and Native American children in cages to this day, man. Right. And really, Hispanics are just Native Americans who went into captivity, man.
Right.
Who learned the tongue of their oppressor, just like what I'm saying. Just like we learn the English tongue. Your Hispanic brothers and sisters are just blacks and Hispanics who learned the tongue of their oppressor, who were the Spaniards, the conquistadors.
Right.
Go ahead.
If I could, and that's how you know that Hispanics, Puerto Ricans are niggas, man.
Right.
Because only niggas will love everybody but who they're supposed to.
Right.
They identify and relate to everybody. Ahmed, Bobby, Chun-Li, but not Daquan. What's a Benjamin name? You know, not a Levi, not Carlos. You know, not Vega. None of those people. But and that's the thing, man. Hispanics are the same damn way. They see Thanksgiving, they give it up. You know, they're Native American themselves. But they say, my ancestors are Native American, but they weren't your Native American.
Right.
They weren't your tribe. I was a nigga, but I'm not you, nigga. And that's how black people think. That's how black people think. And we gotta break that terrible habit and realize we are the only people who we need to care about, man.
That's right.
We're all beaten and broken in every single way. We're all beaten and broken down in every way, and we are the only people who are going to build us up. You going and celebrating the destruction of your cousins is disgusting. When turkey, if you're putting a piece of turkey in your mouth tomorrow, man, I pray if you see this class, it is sour in your lips, man, because you are in agreement with police brutality.
Right. You
are in agreement with the murdering and the goddamn what's this brother bringing out? The concentration camps.
Right.
These deplorable living conditions on these reservations.
Right.
The fact that children are in cages on the border still to this very day. You're in agreement with it, man. Because if you agree with what they do to any of your family, well, then you don't mind what they do to yours.
Right.
Then you don't really care. Right?
You gonna go ahead and finish bringing that up?
The darker parts of our past, such as the Civil War, slavery, the wholesale genocide of Native Americans, and most recently, Japanese internment camps, are either forgotten about or entirely sugarcoated. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently compared the internment camps along the border to concentration camps, where, echoing a report from Esquire, she noted that the detainees are being brutalized with dehumanizing conditions and dying.
Right. So this is talking about the conditions of our Hispanic brothers and sisters down on the border, man. Like, they are being brutalized and dying down on the border, man. Our sisters, you know what I'm saying, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, they don't know where their children are, man. And there is no explanation for where they're going. Children are disappearing. What is it about? What's the number about? 1,200 or like?
They report the last report, which was last year, was 1,400 children. They have to stop reporting on the children that just went missing and disappeared.
Good night. 1,400 children, man. They just went missing. They're like, hey, look, I don't know where your kid went.
That's the only way to get out the cage, apparently, if you disappeared.
Yeah, like these kids are Houdiniing out there, like, and with no explanation. Like, they just like, look, man, I know, you know what I'm saying, I know we brought you here from your home and we stole you from your land, and you know what I'm saying, we put you in this condition, but we don't know where your children are. And then they telling the children, like, look, we don't know where your parents are, so you just out here, you know what I'm saying, like they are separating us. They are separating us from our brothers and sisters, man, from our parents, from our mothers and fathers, man, and with no explanation. And then after they separate us from our children, from our parents, man, They are brutalizing us and killing us, man. They're selling us into sex trafficking rings, and they are taking advantage of our people, man. And to the point where we are dying, man. We are dying. We are dying without our family, man.
Right.
Like this is like these are, you know what I'm saying? Like it seems like, you know what I'm saying, they try to soften the blow. They try to say, you know what I'm saying, like they just holding, you know, they try to make it seem like they just holding the children down there, and they just, you know, it's just a temporary condition until they can deport them to their country, man, because they so-called illegal immigrants. But they are destroying our people, man. They are down there destroying our people and selling them into slavery, selling them into sex trafficking rings, man. They are selling them into prostitution. They are destroying our people in more ways than one, man. And it parallels concentration camps. They are concentration camps, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we're familiar with the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? But there's a Holocaust going on in this country with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
Right before our eyes, and we are oblivious, man.
Right.
Well, go ahead, read on.
Quote from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This administration has established concentration camps on the southern border of the United States for immigrants, where they are being brutalized with dehumanizing conditions and dying. This is not hyperbole, it is the conclusion of expert analysis. She was met with backlash from Republicans who felt wrongly that Nazis were the only people to have concentration camps, and that Alexandria Cortez was invoking the Holocaust. Quote from Liz Cheney, daughter of Dick Cheney. Please do us all a favor and spend just a few minutes learning some actual history. 6 million Jews were exterminated in the Holocaust. You demean their memory and disgrace yourself with comments like this.
Yeah. Like if I could, like that's just so heavy that this Edomite woman just brought this out, man. Cause 6 million Jews were slaughtered. It's like, let me correct myself. 6 million so-called Jewish people, who are putting on the culture of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and pretending to be our people. 6 million of those so-called white people were killed by other white people during the Holocaust, right? By Germans, right? 70. So what's the number? 99 million. What's the number? 120. What was it? 136 million Native Americans, 77 million Hispanics, and 99 million 99 million African Americans are being slaughtered. Have been slaughtered during the captivity of our people and the overtaking of our people.
That's right.
So I mean, those numbers look good. You know what I'm saying? You say 6 million. If you don't put them side by side with the real, true chosen people of the Most High.
That's right.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Our oppressor is killing themselves, man. They're killing each other, man. And you know what I'm saying? Just like black on black crime is family business, man. The white on white crime is family business, man. But you know what? It's not family business. Our oppressor murdering us, man, and taking advantage of our people, rape, robbing, and murdering our people, stealing our land, and genociding our people, man. That is not family business. That is an act of war, man. And we need to stand up and realize that we are at war, man. We need to realize that this woman just tried to downplay the separation of families at the border in the rape, rob, and murder of black, Hispanics, and Native Americans with the sob story with white on white crime, man. But they won't tell you how many several millions that they have killed and taken captive of our people, man. Because they know that 6 million is nothing compared to 100 and something million Native Americans who were killed and genocided at the origin of this wicked country, man. That we know as America, man. So, let me get that other article that I sent you in the one right above this one. So this is something that happened before, man. Like, this is not the first time our people have ended up in concentration camps, man. Just like before that, Baraka and Salaki, I sent you a picture out of the book called, what is it called? the origin of Native American or Native Indians. It's a expert. If you could just read the highlighted portions, starting at
God, I got it.
like the second paragraph.
This is the book, Origins of the American Indians.
Right.
Page 88. Despite the Jewish descent of the Indians, the remoteness from the old world freed them from any guilt in the death of Christ. And their ready acceptance of Christianity from the Spaniards argued well for them.
Let me get the second paragraph at the top, or the third paragraph, Salaki.
Oh wait.
The only other.
Yeah. The only other.
Oh, Salaki. Let me know the last paragraph.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The circle portion.
Gotcha. The Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Salmanazar.
So the Mexicans, the people that are being held at the border right now to this day, are recognized as the originally of the 10 tribes captured. You know what I'm saying? As out of the records of the Bible, man.
Right.
Go ahead, read on.
And of the family of Issachar.
The family of what?
And of the family of Issachar.
They are our family. They are of the 12 tribes of Israel, the tribe of Issachar, man. Our brothers and sisters who are being held at the border, man. Go ahead, read on.
Whom the Indians recognize.
Who recognize?
The Indians recognize.
Right.
As their special ancestor.
Their special ancestor, man. So before our Native Americans were held captive by our oppressor, the Spaniards, who came over and stole their language and their land and their culture away from them, they were Native Americans, man. Our Mexican brothers and sisters, our Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters, they were Native Americans who were stolen and taught this language that we didn't understand and were raped, robbed, and murdered and taken advantage of in this country, man. They were the ancestors of Native Americans, man.
Right.
We're the same people, man. We're the same people. We just speak different languages, man. That's why we look at his so-called Hispanics and so-called, you know what I'm saying? Like we as black people look at Hispanics and so-called Native Americans. We look at them and we see a lot of ourselves in them. Like, man, that look like a brother. He just speak a different language as me. Like, there's just a language barrier, but you look at him, it's like, man, he kind of walk like me, he kind of talk like me, he look like me, man, and he black just like me, because that is your people, man. You were just separated by the language of your oppressor who took advantage of you, man.
Right.
And that's what we gotta understand. Now let me get that other article that I sent you.
You mean the Wikipedia?
The Slaki Bible show. Yeah, that one. Let me get there with you.
Start from the top.
Give me 1 second. Oh yeah. Bible show. Start from the top.
Source: Wikipedia. American Indian boarding schools. American Indian boarding schools, also known more recently as American Indian residential schools, were established in the United States from the mid-17th century to early 20th centuries with a primary objective of civilizing or assimilating Native American children and youth into Euro-American culture.
Right, so this is long after the origin of Thanksgiving that happened in the early 1600s, 1620, all the way to 1630. You know what I'm saying? Now they are, after our oppressor has colonized our land and stole our land and already committed so much genocide and murder in this country, now they are trying to get Native Americans to assimilate to our oppressor's culture, man. You know what I'm saying? Through these boarding schools or these residential schools, man. Go ahead, read on.
In the process, these schools denigrated Native American culture and made children give up their languages and religion.
Now, why would you make a certain group of people give up their culture and their religion, man? This is an act of war that was being forced on our people, man. For them to take our children and make them forget their language and their culture and force them to integrate into white society, man, that is an act of war, man. And that is exactly what we're going through today, man. They want you to cut your hair, man. They want you to forget about your history, man. They want you to call yourself African American, man, and forget about where you came from, man. This is an act of war, man. We have to recognize this, man, because it's not the first time your oppressor has enacted, an act of war against you, man. Go ahead and read on, Baba Kashad.
Khan. At the same time, the schools provided a basic education in Euro-American subjects.
Right, so in your school system, they don't teach you about the transatlantic slave trade. They teach you about the so-called transatlantic migration and tell you that you wanted to come over here. Meanwhile, they teach the Native Americans who are already here that you moved west on your own to make room for this wicked oppressor to settle. They don't teach you about the slaughter and all the bloodshed that it took to get you over here or to get you to move west. They don't teach you about the wars that you fought to try to keep your land and to protect your pregnant women who they didn't care about, who they put in corrals and, starved and tortured, and you're old. They don't teach you about your history like that. They don't teach you about the bloody sacrifices they had to make to kill you off and take your land. They just teach you that you were so docile and submissive to this wicked oppressor like we are today. They try to teach you that you were submissive and made room for them. Go ahead, read on.
These boarding schools were first established by Christian missionaries of various denominations.
So that you were taught by Christian missionaries, just like during our captivity, we had in our black churches, and which were supposed to be schools, our black churches were being overseen by oppressors who would only allow you to teach them a certain doctrine. They wouldn't teach you that, the Most High hated your oppressor and that you should never trust your enemy. But they did teach you to be a good slave. And this is the same thing that our Native Americans are going through in these boarding schools. Go ahead, read on.
The missionaries were often approved by the federal government to start both missions and schools on reservations, especially in the lightly populated areas of the West. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries especially, the government paid religious orders to provide basic education to Native American children on reservations, and later established its own schools on reservations. The Bureau of Indian Affairs also founded additional off-reservation boarding schools based on the assimilation model. These sometimes drew children from a variety of tribes. In addition, religious orders established off-reservation schools. Children were typically immersed in European American culture. Schools forced removal of indigenous cultural signifiers.
So they took you away from your culture where you were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You were keeping your feast days, and you were separated from your oppressor, man, and only loved Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. They immersed you in European culture like they do to us today, man. There's nothing new under the sun, man. This is history, man. They have done this before, man. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, Salakia. We have a feast day coming up, called the Feast of Dedication, man. Yahushua, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, celebrated this feast day, man. This was a feast day that came about because we had an invasion of the Greeks who came into our land and destroyed our temple, which was the epicenter of and the source of our worship towards our power and the center point of our culture. They removed all of our cultural artifacts. They made laws saying that we couldn't celebrate and keep our feast days. Then they instituted their culture. They built a gymnasium in Jerusalem. They made it unlawful to call yourself a Jew. They made it unlawful for mothers to circumcise their sons. You understand? They made it unlawful for us to keep the commandments of our God, man. You understand? And they gave us their culture, man. So what this priest is saying, man, is heavy because what was done before is what is being done now, man. You understand? And it's the same process of oppression. You come in and you murder God's people, right? Then you cause them to forget who they are by teaching their children your culture, right? Which is pagan culture, man. You understand? It says here that the schools forced removal of indigenous cultural signifiers, cutting the children's hair, having them wear American-style uniforms, forbidding them from speaking their indigenous languages, and replacing their tribal names with English names. That's a heavy thing, man. What was the experience of the so-called Negro after coming to the shores, man, of America, you know what I'm saying, in the holds of cargo slave ships, man? It was the same process. That's how you know that Native Indians, you understand, and so-called Hispanics, that we're all family. Because right. the type of oppression that we suffer, it's the same across the board. And the scriptures say that the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. This feast day that's coming up is no coincidence that it lines up with Thanksgiving, man. That it lines up with the slaughter of the northern kingdom, man, of the 10 tribes, man. It's no coincidence, man. You understand? But the significant thing that we should remember is that there was a group of Israelites called the Maccabees, man, right, that chose to stand against the oppression of their oppressors and chose to stand against the traitors of our people, man. And they went to war against the oppressor, man, to take back our culture, man, right, and take back our identity, man, to cause our people to remember who their power was and who they were as a people, man. You understand? And that's what the Isupk under Command General Yohana is, man. Right. That's what this brother right here, priest and Officer Kalkazar, man, is doing, man. He stands in the ranks of the men who stood against the oppressor, man, to let our people know who and what they are, man. And that we don't have to yield ourselves, man, to the culture of our enemy, man. Right. You understand? And that's why this time is so significant in black history, man. Because what we have right now, man, is those that are standing stiffly, you understand, for who they are, for their culture, for their people, for their nation. And you have those who the scriptures say were those wicked men who came out of Israel, who sought to make an agreement with the heathen, man. Good night, man. When you sit down to celebrate Thanksgiving, man, you're making an agreement with your enemy, man. Right. You're making a contract with your enemy, man. And we know that the white man has kept no treaty out of the 500 treaties that were created. He has not kept one treaty with the Native Indian, man, with the tribe of Gad, with the tribe of Reuben, man. You understand? With the rest of the tribes of South America, he kept no treaty, man. But yet you want to sit down and celebrate Thanksgiving, man, and listen, man. Listen, most business is done in a restaurant. After the business is done and the contracts are signed, then we have a good meal. Right. You understand? But guess what? The scriptures say that the Lord has nullified. He has ended your agreement and your covenant with death, man. The scriptures say he has disannulled your covenant with death, man. Your agreement with the white man, your willingness to sit down and buy turkeys, cranberry sauce, stuffing, you know what I'm saying, collard greens, man, it's been nullified by the Most High Power, man, Yahweh, man. Right. And like the priest and prophet said earlier, man, you're going to see more plagues, man. You're going to see more diseases, man. You understand? You're going to see more terrible things happen and occur because the Lord tried to separate you from your enemy by giving you these plagues to give you the opportunity to learn about yourself, man. Right. But instead, you chose to say, you said, I want to go back to Egypt. Right. Oh, how I miss the flesh pots and the lentils and the dill that we had back in Egypt, man. Yeah. Now we out here in the wilderness, man. And because you're going back, man, the Lord is going to bring judgment, man.
That's
you
right.
understand? This is the time to take heed to the priests and prophets and to what this priest is telling you on this screen, man. For you to take heed, man. Because the time is short, man. The work of the Lord will be cut short, man. You understand? Y'all think y'all have years and years and years and years, man, in time and your dreams and your pursuits of happiness, man. When the truth of the matter is, Christ is coming back, man.
That's right.
And he's not coming back for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who are eating turkey and cranberry sauce on the day of their oppression, man. Right. He ain't coming back for them. He's coming back for the people who choose to abstain and to acknowledge his holy days, man.
Right. Damn right. Like, what that brother just brought out was was absolutely correct, man. Like, we have to realize, like, that's the whole purpose of this class, man. We're trying to show you the connection that your first of all, your oppressor has taught you these things, man. And it's not by coincidence. It's not for no reason. It's not by chance. Your oppressor has taught you to celebrate the death of your ancestors, man, through these heinous acts that they have done against you, man. They have forced you to forget your culture. They have forced you to forget your native language, man. They have forced you to cut your hair, to forsake your God, man. They have forced you to to refrain from celebrating your feast days and keeping your feast days and your law, statutes, and commandments and keeping their feast days, man. So now, what do we do? What do we do now? We celebrate the death of our ancestors willingly now, because we have been conditioned to do so, man. And the Most High is not coming back for somebody with a mouthful of pork, you know what I'm saying, on a day that their ancestors were murdered, man. He's not coming back for you and giving you a crown, man.
Right.
He is coming back with a sword.
That's
to
right.
Take your head, man. To punish your oppressor for destroying you and having you in this hellish condition, and then destroying the people who have cleaved to our oppressor, man. Despite the facts and despite the obvious history that is right before us, man. You know what I'm saying? Where was we at? Still like me. So your oppressor has, you know what I'm saying, you're in these concentration camps, in these boarding schools, man. Your oppressor has sent, after stealing the land and taking advantage of the Native Americans that were already here,
right,
and murdering them, raping and robbing them of their, you know what I'm saying, of their land, of their resources, man. They have sent your children to boarding schools to forget about your culture and to learn their culture, man. They have made you cut your hair, man. They have made you wear their clothes and their uniforms, man. They have forbade you from speaking your indigenous tongue, man.
That's right.
Which, and then they have taught you, they have pumped into your brain, into your mind, their culture, man. So that's all you know. This is completely deliberate, man. This is completely, Salaki, let me get a little bit more and then we'll get off this.
I swear, Salaki.
Your oppressor is a wicked devil, man. You are not going to realize that sitting at their table eating a ham hock or a turkey leg and celebrating and honoring the death of your people, man. Where you got it?
Come. Saints' names under some religious orders for use at the schools as part of assimilation to Christianize them.
Right, just like blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are today, man. We have lost our warlike spirit and we have been Christianized, man.
Right.
Which is a backwards term, because to be Christian is to be Christ-like, but Christians are not Christ-like.
Right.
They have bastardized the term to where you hear that you're a Christian and you get a little tingle in your spine thinking that you are holy and you are special, but really you are Americanized, man.
Right.
You have assimilated yourself to your oppressor's culture and you have become a coward, man. And they have put it under the name of Christianity, trying to make it seem like Christ was this way. That's why they covered the face of Christ and made him a white man instead of a black man and a man of war like he is in the scriptures.
Right.
That's why he made him love everybody. You know what I'm saying? To teach you that Most High and Christ loves everybody, man, when that is not true. Because they are teaching you their culture, man, and they call it Christianization, man. They are Christianizing you. That's why we get in this Christian church and we dance and sing and holler and don't learn nothing. Then we go in the back and eat ham out. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and read on Slack.
Gone. The schools were usually harsh and sometimes deadly, especially for younger children who have been forcibly separated from their families and forced to abandon their Native American identities and cultures.
So the ones that didn't want to assimilate to your to your oppressor's culture, man, they were killed, man. They were being brutalized and put in harsh conditions and were killed, man. That's why there are so many. That's why there are so many graves. You know what I'm saying? There's so many dead Native American bodies in Pennsylvania at the Carlisle boarding school, man, in Pennsylvania, man. That's why there are so many Native Americans buried in New York and all these different countries on the East Coast, man. Because those who didn't want to assimilate were killed, man, and they didn't care about the you know what I'm saying, your age. You know, they didn't show any favor to the young or the old, man. If you didn't assimilate, if you didn't accept that your oppressor was now ruling over you, man, you were killed, man. You were taken out of there, man. They didn't give a damn, man. This is what we gotta understand. Like we celebrate our oppressors' holidays, and we continue to try to be a part of our oppressor's culture because we were forced to at a time, man.
Right.
Just like our oppressor got our Native or our Hispanic brothers and sisters down at the border in cages, who we already just established that are Native Americans who learned their oppressor's language. They got them down at the cages, learning their oppressor's culture, man, just like they had the Native Americans in border schools trying to force them to learn their oppressor's culture. Just like they had so-called Negroes in captivity learning their oppressor's culture by force, man.
That's right.
We were forced to do these things, and now blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are about to sit at the table with their oppressor, with their molester uncle, with their with these wicked people that who we don't even like. We're gonna sit around at the table and eat turkey and try to pretend everything is fine because we were conditioned to do so, man.
Right.
And once we understand that we were conditioned to act and behave in the way that we do today, then as soon that we can break away from these psychological chains and learn how to not envy our oppressor, man, so that our Most High God can come back and destroy this place, man, that had us in captivity and brutalized our people and separated us, man. This is what we gotta understand, man. We were taught these things, man. And we were taught these things for a reason, so that they can take advantage of us. And, you know what I'm saying, in knowing that we were taught these things and still choosing to celebrate our oppressor's wicked holiday tomorrow, man, then you are choosing oppressor, man.
Right.
And if you know that you're a black, Hispanic, and Native American and you have an oppressor over you and you still choose to sit at that table and eat turkey and eat ham and collard greens and sit, you know what I'm saying, and try to celebrate this holiday, knowing what it's about, then you have lost all credibility and authority to be able to educate and rule over your people, man.
That's right.
To have a valid opinion about what's going on with your people, man.
Right.
No one gives a damn, man. Because when it was time for you to stand up, man, we saw what you did, man. We saw what you did, man. We saw that you put down your sword, man, for a piece of turkey, man.
God damn.
You put down your sword for turkey, man, for ham. Like you can't go to the store on any other day of the week, man, and cook you a good meal, man.
You need a goddamn turkey sandwich.
Right. Right. You can eat a turkey sandwich on any other day of the week, man, but you choose this day where your oppressor murdered thousands, hundreds of millions of your people, man. You choose to indulge in a feast, man.
Right.
You have no spine, man. You
have
no credibility when it comes to what we should do to free our people from the oppression of our oppressor, the so-called white man. Slightly.
I'm just going real quick. You know what I'm saying? You know how in Thanksgiving everybody will circle around and say what they thankful for. So you can't do that any other day to say you thankful for what? To say in one circle? You got Thanksgiving to killing Native Americans.
Right.
If you are a normal human being, you know that celebrating a death of people is wrong. But then again, we are under the rulership of wicked, these beasts, these doggone, the so-called white men. You know what I'm saying? They put upon on people that say Thanksgiving is so righteous. Killing people is righteous. I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody think they're good people. Everybody think they're good people. Everybody think they're righteous.
Right.
Even serial killers think they're righteous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In their own mind. But if you celebrate Thanksgiving, you are associated with a serial killer.
Right. God damn.
You are associated with a serial killer. You agree with what he did.
That's right.
You agree that they came to America, so-called America, to put Native Americans down in a doggone ditch somewhere, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
Oh no, what you said was give that brother a hand, man. What that brother said was super heavy, man. Like you are like by sitting down and sitting at that table with your oppressor, with your, you know what I'm saying, with these wicked people, man. Like you are assimilating to their culture by you are willingly assimilating to your oppressor's culture, man.
Right.
Like you don't give a damn about your people, man. That's all it takes for our people to give up on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is a little bit of turkey, is a little bit of stuffing, and some macaroni, some cheese. So let me get this straight. So blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to betray and turn your back on the Native Americans and the Hispanics who were murdered and raped and robbed of their culture for some cheese.
Right.
For some Velveeta. We are going to betray our people for a little bit of Velveeta and some stuffing and a bird, some chicken, some turkey, man. Come on, we have to do better, man. And the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge are here to teach our people to do better, man. Because we deserve better, man. We don't deserve oppression, man. You know what I'm saying? Our iniquity is fulfilled, man. We are done being wicked, man. We are done stealing and killing and robbing each other. We are done worshiping other gods, man. We are done, man. And it's time for our oppressor to get their knee off our necks, man, and free us from this oppression, man. But we cannot be free until we choose to free ourselves, man.
That's right.
Because even though they forced their culture down our throats, even though they forced us to cut our hair, even though they forced us to forget our language, man, they are, man, you know what I'm saying? They're not doing those things by force anymore right now, man. We are choosing to do these things, man. And we can't claim to desire freedom from this wicked oppressor. We can't walk in the streets and say, hands up, don't shoot. And claim, you know what I'm saying, want to be separate from our oppressor and then go and celebrate this wicked holiday, which revolves around the death and the murder of our black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
It's not practical, man. It's not practical, man. That's not what the Most High wants for us, man. Most High don't want us to be subservient people under this wicked nation, man. He wants us to conquer and rule over this planet, man. Not just this country, this planet, man. He wants us to be in rulership, but we can't be in rulership if we continue to be taken advantage of subliminally by our oppressor, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Unless any brother or sister got any questions, man, we're gonna stop the class right there, man. I appreciate any brother or sister that attended class today, any brother or sister that was in the chat, you know what I'm saying, or online watching, man. And you know what I'm saying, we just gotta do better, man. We gotta learn to be able to have the courage to be separate from our so-called oppressor, man. And the moment we do that, man, they can't control us with a good meal, man. Once we start loving one another, and you know what I'm saying, eating good, you know what I'm saying, and cooking and showing each other love every day of the week, man, your oppressor can't control you by convincing you that this is the only time that you can show one another love, man. They can't convince you and control you with fake love, man. Because you are going to love your people every single day, man.
Right.
The best place for us to start is to not gather with your people and eat this turkey in the name of your oppressor killing your ancestors, man. That's where we gotta start, man. We're not gonna get nowhere until we start there, man. But with that, we're going to pass the class to Precinct Officer Abon Zayan for the security announcement.
This is the ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK started off on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers, the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, 8, verses 8 to 10. Means 10 in the Hebrew, ma'asharah. 10 of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. We have the feast of dedication, Hanukkah, which is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. So it'll be Sunday, the 28th of November, 2022. No, 2021, 2021. For 8 days. You can find it first Maccabees, chapter 4, verses 52 through 61. Remind Akim and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. Boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarf. And that concludes the ISUPK security announcement.
With that, Imagine, which means to stand in the Hebrew. We'll soar and face the east. We'll soar and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Avanel, Shabbat Shemayim, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamgar, Yahweh, Barakah, Dawah, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathandanel, Lakam, Yawam, Wasalaklanel, Kabawatnel, Kasalaknel,
Dismissed.